Hi, Pocket. In this video, I talk about my sensei, my greatest role model. Weekly bounty time. This time for tempered fanged beasts in the basin, all but calling out the basin's resident fire monkey Ajara-Khan by name. And while I normally treat these like a puzzle to see how quickly I can solve them, something to look out for is how these weeklies usually align with any events that are going on. The Street Fighter collab is going on right now, and we have access to the biggest buff to throwing knife I could have imagined, literal Akuma. I ran through the basin, talking to a few people, finding these carcasses, talking to Maki, and then headed to the heroic All Might looking guy by Area 14. Akuma, who promptly spit some mad wisdom on the track, smacked me around a bit, and sent me off to become a better, stronger person. At the newly unlocked Arena Quest to hunt a tempered Ajara-Khan. Perfect! But it is in the arena, so it doesn't complete the basin bounties, but it at least clears up the tempered and fanged beast bounties easy enough. And since I'm going to need to collect these tickets up anyway, perfecto. I did forget that it was an arena quest and spent way too much time playing around with the combos, so my first time was horrendous. After playing it twice and having so much fun with Akuma, I headed back to finish the quest at Akuma and unlock his armor and a new arena quest. It takes a total of 5 tickets if you want to unlock the Akuma armor, so I needed to do the arena quest a few more times. While you're here, if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, there's a few other things you might want to collect up tickets for. The Palico armor takes another 2 tickets, and upgrading the Mighty Charm from level 2 to 3 for 3 levels of maximum might will cost you another 3 tickets. After collecting a total of 10 SF6 tickets, I was clear for takeoff. I turned in half my bounties, and all that was left was to handle the quests in the basin. Now, I don't know anything about Akuma. Despite this, if anything about this character is accurate from their cutscene talking to us, I love them, and they somewhat remind me of my sensei from real life. I've mentioned this before occasionally in my videos, but I spent 8 years consistently going to karate. It was sort of like my full-time job, even before I was old enough to realistically hold a job. I would go in for at least 8 hours, 5 days a week, arriving early to clean up, often teaching the kids class, and staying late sometimes even to lock the building. Karate was and still is a massive pillar in my life, and the integrity and discipline it ingrained me with cannot be scrubbed off, no matter how many 45-pound plates I slide back and forth across the dojo floor every morning. My sensei was a massive man and a decorated veteran. He'd seen the world, its corners, and its horrors, and he bestowed a kind of tough love, the kind too tough to realistically tear. He cared about all of his students as if they were his children, and for much of my life, because of his care and kindness, the dojo felt like a second family. In school, my little acts of trickery and defiance were punished harshly by my professors and peers, but in the dojo, Sensei celebrated them. He taught the other students and myself simple things. Chest up, shoulders back, he'd tell me. Stop holding your breath. He had a history of defiance himself, and though most of our practices were highly respectful, especially when interacting with other dojos, he taught me a secret. Bow deeply, but do not lower your eyes, unless they have earned that level of respect. I didn't understand these intricacies, but I've always been good at mimicking people and listening to them. When he punched, so would I, and though our bodies perhaps couldn't be any more different, I did all I could to mirror the motion. And sometimes, in life and in video games, that's all it takes. You don't need to understand why every time. Sometimes, you just need to throw 1,000 punches before something clicks. Aha! I get it now. Throw 1,000 more, another click. It all makes sense. And by your 5,000th punch, you might even just realize that all of those clicks didn't make any sense. Relentless consistency is something karate taught me. Consistency in the face of anything. In karate, it was shameful to ask for a promotion. To ask would be to suppose that you know karate better than sensei, and that would be extremely disrespectful, especially in his dojo. I saw this happen a few times in my karate years, and it was never a reputable decision. Salvageable, as all things are, especially amongst our close-knit dojo family. Many things could be forgiven in time, but the recovery time on different wounds can vary based on severity. I would never wound my standing with sensei solely in the pursuit of a brand new belt. I heard from my classmates how unfair this was sometimes, how they deserved to get promoted, almost always in whispers before sensei arrived or even behind my own back, as they knew where my loyalties were. If you saw my Mother's Day video, you know I'm a bit of a narc. But I too felt that unfairness. When sensei would look, only once I had made an error. "Pocket, raise your knee," he'd wag his finger. Had he not seen the 30 strong kicks I had thrown before? The ones that rattled the bag, that shook the mats beneath me? Had he not heard the red flesh of my leg crack against the bag like thunder, still stinging? I felt that sort of thing all the time when I first started, but over the years it dwindled, and I came to realize some things more clearly. First, that I should have faith in sensei's perception. He certainly didn't miss my first 30 kicks, but his advice is sound. I cannot allow myself to grow weak by my 31st, simply because of all the strong kicks I landed before. My opponent, my own mind, should not be left to wander due to my previous successes. Perhaps he hadn't spoken on my first 30 because they were sufficient. There is great honor in 30 good kicks. I can't let my ego blind me simply because of his gentle reprimand at 31. I know some students felt great shame hearing sensei talk to them like that in front of the entire class. But a second point, and in my opinion more importantly, it shouldn't matter. If I am strong and my technique is sound, then over time all of my actions will reflect that. Every kick, every thrown punch, every kata, even my weakest movement or my most accidental mistake will become a fraction of what is shown by an untrained karateka. Sort of like rank, MMR. There are unwinnable games, and no game is played perfectly, but a good, strong player is consistent and flexible. Throwing one good kick, one strong strike, playing one perfect game can warrant a couple claps from sensei, but if it's an outlier on your graph, how rare it will be. When I began to recognize that, I stopped feeling a pang of jealousy whenever sensei cheered for one of my classmates. He'd walk over. "Now this is how you throw a kick. Watch the way they pivot their hips at this exact moment." I would observe closer every detail I could, so that in 2 weeks, a month, however long it took, every kick I threw followed that rule. Not a perfect kick, never perfect, but better, always for the sake of improvement. Sensei was the strongest person I've ever met, a mighty warrior in all aspects of his life, and though I may never share the hobby of gaming with him, I know that he would enjoy Akuma. This mighty character, able to face monsters head-on without a weapon. I'd love to hear if you have any role models that have struck a similar chord in your life. These people can be a valuable resource, and someday I hope to be one myself, to bestow that kind of strength upon my allies in the same way my sensei did. If I can show a fraction of that influence, I will be proud. Proud, but far from perfect, always for the sake of improvement. After hunting a couple Ajaricon and having fun with the new Akuma set, I headed back to the Bounty Cat to turn everything in. More bounty goodies from the Goody Cat. Thank you. And thank you for watching. Until next time, fellow hunters, good luck and goodbye.